Southport, Tuesday the 30th of July, shortly after the vigil for those three little girls. At around 7:45 on Tuesday evening, crowds, leaving the vigil, targeted a mosque and attacked it with bricks, with some heard chanting anti-Islam phrases. The internet was awash with stories, and social media retweeted videos and photos of what soon became known as the Southport riots. Wales Online stated, a group of people, believed to be supporters of the English Defence League, began to throw items towards a local mosque on St. Luke's Road, which is just around the corner from where the crazed attack took place.
This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery.
The question is, who organised it? With some saying the murderer had shouted something about Alan's snack bar as he attacked, an anti-Muslim feeling was in the air. And then, word got around earlier that evening that a man, wearing a balaclava, was seen carrying a knife while at the vigil. The police were quick to respond and arrested him. Turns out it was a local man, well known to the police, by the name of Jordan Davies. Judge Watson said, Davies was on his way to join a mob and had seen an opportunity to stir up trouble. The prosecution told the court that at about 6:45 the defendant was seen on East Bank Street, a short distance from where the vigil took place. I wondered what mob Judge Watson was referring to, so Googled up a map of Southport. If Davies had left the vigil to join a mob near the mosque, he would need to turn right from the vigil and travel down the map. But he didn't, he turned left from the vigil and traveled to the train station. I have checked and there were no mobs near East Bank Street station. A small inconsistency, I know, but I have to wonder if the judge was working off the same UK map, or perhaps just believing what he was told. An ex-user by the name of Tilly Turner, I'll put her details below, shared a video on X a couple of days ago that caught my attention. Something about the far right traveling the length and breadth of our country to riot against illegal immigrants, and those declaring allegiance to Alan's snack bar, just didn't make sense. Slimebag Starmer blamed the long-deceased English Defence League. But, if the EDL had somehow grown into an underground movement, secret, and away from mainstream knowledge, who was funding them, to the tune that hundreds could, at the drop of a hat, travel from one end of the country to the other, simply to provoke riots? And all done, without MSM catching a whiff. Police riot vans and officers with riot shields were seen standing guard outside the Southport Mosque, amid chants of no surrender, and English till I die, from sections of the crowd. These are usually the chants from the English football lads, who were not necessarily there. However, with the fever pitch of everyday folk, scared for their children's safety, and new evidence from the North and Midland gangs, particularly of a certain persuasion, taking vile advantages of our children, perhaps, decent English people just exploded. Everyone and every nation has a line, in its defense, that must not be crossed. I asked myself, had the riot outside the Southport Mosque kicked off, owing to the deadbeat nutter with a knife? After all, tensions were already high, like a champagne bottle, shaken with the cork still in. The video you saw at the beginning shows the exact moment the crowd turned on the police. On the left you see the side of the mosque, a female police officer, the only one wearing long sleeves, walks behind the line of police, and up toward the riot van. The crowd at this point, obviously locals, are standing around. No one has attempted to push or shout at the officers. Once at the top, she passes between two officers, and stands in front of the riot van. Her arm is outstretched as she appears to talk to a tall man, in a short-sleeved black t-shirt, short hair and a beard. He also appears in several locations throwing dustbins at the riot vans. Yet there's no record of his arrest. The man gestures to the crowd, and around 10 men all standing at the front move in. Another man dressed in black with a hoodie covering his face, steps in front of him. He and the tall man push the police officer, and the others, mostly in balaclavas, all push forward. As they do, the female police officer steps back between two policemen and all but disappears behind the line. As it kicks off, you'll notice a police officer standing by the wall of the side of the mosque. He is the police commissioner identified by his epaulet. The riot has now begun, but just for good measure let's have some smoke effects. The man, in black, who appeared to first push the female police officer, is let through the police line and appears by the side of the wall next to the commissioner. He takes a few steps and rests something on the wall. Turning away, he walks to the commissioner and places something behind him. As he walks away, smoke is seen rising in the air and the commissioner walks away from the smoke. The commissioner, or whoever he is, now stands by the fire starter, or perhaps it was a smoke bomb, as he takes his hood down. Inchoate means just begun or undeveloped, and is used in English criminal law to refer to situations where, although a substantial offence has not been committed, the defendant has taken steps to commit it, or encouraged others to do so. This video appears to show a well-choreographed and well-executed plan to start a riot. The commissioner obviously knew the fire starter. He watched him pass through the police line and stood next to him while he took his hoodie off.
It's been a difficult process. First of all, within 24 hours of the horrific events of the 29th of July, we saw the disorder on the streets of Southport. In fact, that evening we saw the misinformation and disinformation, and we very quickly, wherever we could, gave information out to demonstrate that disinformation was wrong.
I don't care what you want to do.
And now we get to the mosque.
Yeah,
Media reports suggested up to 1,000 people swarmed on the Southport Mosque, throwing bricks at it and angrily chanting religiously offensive vocals. A man, by the name of Phoenix Lawson, who appears to be local to the area, put up a GoFundMe the very same evening. I'll leave a link in the box below. Lawson states his aim, and the reason he's asking for your money, is to rebuild or relocate the Southport Mosque. Locals came to the rescue and helped rebuild the mosque's wall the very next day, as the community pulled together. Wait. Let's rewind. MSM reported up to 1,000 people swarmed on the Southport Mosque, throwing bricks at it and angrily chanting religiously offensive vocals. But, where are the broken windows from all the bricks being thrown? In fact, let's look at those pictures again. On the bottom of this picture, you see a large building with a car park in front of it. This is the mosque. Notice the police have cordoned off a small section of road alongside the side of the mosque. You can see 6 riot vans at and around the center of the crossroads. Only one road is blocked. The entrance and car park to the mosque is not protected and no one appears bothered. Looking closer, we see a fire has just broken out in a riot van on the bottom right of the picture. There are no rioters in that street, only a few policemen standing around. In this next picture, taken a short time later, you can see the riot van, in the cordoned off area, is now on fire. Still no rioters in the street, just police. Obviously all rioters were moved on, perhaps when the fire started. It's quite noticeable, the mosque car park floor is clear of debris and no cars have been attacked. In fact, all the damage is confined to where the riot erupted. Notice the pathways leading off from the riot area are clear of bricks and debris. On the top of this picture there are 2 houses which are next to the side wall of the mosque. The house with the white door has had its wall smashed down and the bricks used to throw. Only it was not the mosque the mob was attacking, it was the police. Riots, for whatever reason they occur, are never acceptable. But I do question, in this case, and given what we have just seen, who actually started this. And lastly, who took bricks from the mosque wall, given there is no brick debris to be seen on that side of the police cordon, and why did the mosque take over £5,000 to rebuild it when not even a car window had been smashed? A lot to think about, I know. But, if you have any ideas about what might be going on, and exactly how deep the deception was over Southport, please leave your comments in the box below. For now I'll say, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll chat again soon.
Well, A lot to think about, isn't there? Yeah, absolute damn disgrace.